very thankful to be back with you. I was got a phone call this morning from Brian, and he thought I was back. And he wasn't feeling well, so he was going to ask me to change. I said, "Well, no, I'm in the airport. I was literally in the airport in Austin when he called." He said, "All right, I'll get someone else." I said, "No, all I've got is time to read today on plays." So that's what I did. And put some things together for tonight. And I'm very grateful for Lewis, who took me to the airport a week ago. He came to pick me up today. Got me home right at 4 o'clock. Very generous. And so I made the motion to make him member of the month. You want your name on that list, you know? You know what you got to do. That's a good start, right there. March is wide open, so. Good to be back with you. Love you all very much. Brother Wayne, you're going to lead us in this word of prayer.
Father in heaven, we am thanking you for this day, for all our many blessings, Father. We're so thankful for this opportunity that we gather together to worship you in spirit and in truth. Studying other portions from thy holy and divine word, Father. Bless Brother Mike as he brings this lesson in the Bible study tonight. We pray, Father, that we'll open our minds and our hearts to what's being said, what's being taught, and that we'll humble ourselves and apply it to our life, Father, that we might walk closer to thee. Father, we want to pray for those that are sick among us, that you would bless them and restore them to the reasonable portion of them to be thy will. Father, bless us as we study together tonight. We thank you for all of our blessings, most of all for Jesus, our Lord and Savior, who came to redeem and to save us. Father, go with us through this service. Yes, this is in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, brothers. All right. So, yeah, the chapter 7 is where we are. And this is, of course, the great text of when Noah actually entered the ark. I know you all have studied the construction of the ark already. And this, of course, is the part where God said, okay, now it's time to come in. Come in, it says in verse 1. Come into the ark, even all your household, because I've seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. And that, of course, is why we know about Noah. Is while the world was seeking its own, a heart with intent for evil, you have somebody who thought about God, who wanted to know God, and love Him, walk with Him, and obey Him. And I would think that's the greatest point we can see from looking at Noah. Is that God's looking in every generation, He's looking for people like that. People who are willing to live by faith and who are willing to trust Him, willing to follow Him. And what we see is that the great things we think about Noah all happened in the last third of his life. And the age is about to come into play here in this text. But most of his life we don't know about. And it's the latter part, the last third, where his life really takes this mold and where he is able to apply himself in walking with God. And I just think that's something we need to always think about. The greatest achievements we can make for God may yet still be before us when our faith is resolved like this man's was. So his world was corrupt, and yet God was going to judge it, and Noah was a person who found grace because he did all that God commanded him. So that's exactly what you and I need to think about ourselves. Now, every culture has a legend of a flood. of something like this happening. That's where the fossil record came from, was this way. And of course, people are still looking to find Noah's Ark, and supposedly they had, I guess you can buy pieces of it on Amazon. I've got mine in the mail. They look real to me, so. But no, people supposedly they found the spot so big it doesn't matter to me. What we do know is that it did occur. There's evidence physically, but especially for us in His Word. But there are questions. It's an intriguing story. Has anyone in here been to the Ark? Wow. Well, I haven't been there yet. What was your impression of it when you went? Amazing? In what sense?
It's just in awe. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
It is. Oh, it is, yeah. You just don't realize that, and I want to go. I haven't been yet. I heard the cafeteria is killer. That's what I was told. So I got to move on from that. But no, even my brother, when he came in from Texas, one of my brothers, they were very impressed with him. So, the story of Noah is intriguing. It's something that captivates us. And yet we see that God did guide this whole operation. And when the time came, it says, "Now you shall take with you 7 each of every clean animal, a male and his female, 2 each of animals that are unclean, a male and his female. Also 7 each of the birds of the air, male and female, to keep the species alive on the face of all the earth." Now, what stands out to you when you read that list? What stands out? Anything? The plans for future sacrifice? Yeah. Right.
One of the things is the rules for clean and unclean animals
Okay.
have yet to be given.
All right.
That was given in Leviticus.
True. Exactly. So even before then, God had already made a distinction between the animals. Right. And this is the first time this is mentioned. All right. So you have clean and unclean. Yes, sir.
I could be wrong, but I've always felt that it was a male and his female.
Okay.
Just thinking that.
I'm sorry. Okay. You're a male and his female. What do you mean, like one male and a
7 is a male and his female is the way it's written, but I took it as being 1 male and 6 females, but that's just my thinking.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it says 7 though, 7 each. Yeah. So, I'm sorry.
Punctuation may have something to do with that. Says you should take with you 7 each of every clean animal, a male and female, and his female. Well, 7's an odd number, of course. And so it could have been, just saying, it could have been 3 pairs and an odd animal, because one of the things they had to do, or did, once the ark landed, was sacrifice clean animals. And you wouldn't want to sacrifice the animal and then make the species extinct.
Okay, I thought it was 14. I thought that's what it was saying.
It's
7 pairs.
It's unclear.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
unclear.
So, okay. Now, what do you think? All right. So, why did this happen again? Why did he bring all these creatures in? To reproduce, to keep these species alive on the earth. Huh? After their kind, exactly. So notice male and female. Male and female. That's how life is made possible. In humans and in Did you have something to say?
I was just gonna say, this kind of offers us the precedent, and whenever God brings destruction, whether it was the earth, whether it was to the Israelite nation, he always provided a remnant. You can see his planning, before the event happened, that there would always be a remnant of the righteous. He wasn't destroying the whole world and all of his creation that he had created and already set in motion. He was destroying the sin.
Right.
And then he kept that remnant to continue. But we
Yeah.
know that even when he
That's
threatened
true.
to kill the Israelites, he was going to preserve to Moses, and you will continue. And
Exactly.
now it's Christ.
That's a good point. There's always been a remnant. Yeah, that's interesting. And did you have something?
We're not told.
Hold on now. Are you about to mention what I think you're about to mention? Okay. Because he mentioned, said, where did Bigfoot come in at? Was he male or female?
We're not told how long he's gonna be in there, we don't know what you know.
Right, okay.
Some of these animals possibly could be, since they're clean, could be for food.
Okay. That's true. I read that. That's a possibility. Why so many of the clean animals, right? Yeah. And so, probably, yeah, for food. Possible. Something to think about. But at least God's making a distinction at this point. And he is allowing, of course, male and female to come in to reproduce. Alright, so that's the goal, to keep species alive on the face of the earth. Some questions about this, of course, is how can he fit all the animals in? You know? And what's an easy answer to that?
Here we go.
Well, what's an easy answer? What was that now?
They were kinds, not species. You know,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
you had an
Right.
equine kind,
Yeah.
a canine kind,
Exactly.
a feline kind, and you know, a pachyderm. You didn't have to have an elephant and a rhino
I know.
just
Yeah.
pachyderms.
Right.
Because within them was all the genetic speciation that's required over generations to make the changes and differences.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, microevolution is real. I mean, within its kind, within its species, you'll have evolution. But the macro, you know, from one kind to another, it never, ever happens. Go ahead, Jim.
And we're not told that they're all full grown.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So they could be infant, you know, at this point. So that's something to factor in as well. Did I see that again? Okay. Somebody put some numbers on this. They pointed out that there's over 18,000 species on land, and that's what we're talking about in entering the ark, which on average, if you know, took the size of them all, they would average out to the size of a sheep. So, supposedly you could, with the numbers involved here, hold 125,000 sheep. So, based on the number of species needed to preserve life on land versus the space that's there, you know, that's what they came up with. I don't get too lost in that stuff. I mean, God made it happen. We understand that. That's what we have to keep in mind. I mean, there are other questions like, okay, well, how can you gather them all in 7 days? You know, how can you get all the land animals, all the birds that are going to live? How can you gather them all from the face of the earth in 7 days?
You didn't have to go out and round them up, right? They came.
Right, I would think so.
They came on their own.
Yeah.
With God's help.
With God's help, I agree. Just like when he told Adam to name the animals, you know, and the animals parade before Adam as he named them, I would think the same type of things happen to him.
With God, all things are possible.
Exactly. That's exactly right. With God, all things are possible. Because, you know, the critics would say, well, how can you have a lion and a lamb come together and the lion would hate itself? Or whatever. I mean, the predators and the prey, you know, how can they coexist like this? And they're not in a problem. But I think you already said it's the hand of God. And can you think back of when God was able to control animals?
Lions den.
Say what?
Lions den.
Yeah. Daniel in the lion's den is a good example. I thought the same thing. That's what he said. send his angels and shut the lion's mouths so that they got hurt. And we know that later, that the next day, they got their appetite back, right? I mean, it wasn't like they couldn't eat, they devoured the enemies of Daniel. They even hit the ground, that's what the text says. So anyway, God has the ability to control animals, and I don't think that's what's happening here. But again, the thing is, like the state in remnant, God is keeping life alive on the earth. Okay? Anything on that before we move on? Yeah.
In that 20th verse of chapter 6, it says that two of every kind will come to you to keep them alive, which I always took.
Oh, well, how about that? There you go.
Good.
Good.
I used to have discussions with people that they said, you understand what a task it would be to round up all these animals?
Right.
You know,
How about that?
but I think along with that, also when they got on the ark, that God caused that calmness.
Right. Just like in the den there.
Yeah, because if he did
Yeah.
that, can you imagine all these animals, that to the point that's already been mentioned, God controls everything.
Right.
God controls situations. So whatever he wants to happen, that's true.
All right, so Wayne made a good point. I don't know if I didn't catch this at the end of chapter 6, verse 20. Two of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. So there it is. God is directing
We
me.
also don't support the idea that in the antediluvian world there was one central landmass, which
That's a
the
good
kids
point,
today
too.
call Pangea. They didn't have to cross oceans
That's
to
true.
get there,
Yeah.
and they had 120 years of generations to get there.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, you didn't have the continents there. You had one land mass. That makes sense. All right. So, yes. About that.
Our learning.
What now?
Our learning.
Our learning.
We can see how God operates.
I've never heard that question before. That's a good question. So, for our learning, then, why did God just recreate everything? Interesting. Did you have something?
One of the things, in my mind, sometimes I get the idea that God was sitting in a grandstand watching this happen. I do not believe that personally. I don't believe that. I believe God was in the ark. And that's what those animals were coming back to their creator. That's my own personal belief.
Yeah.
Just, but one of the things, to Michelle's point, and Lewis's, for our learning, what it teaches us is those animals weren't like we are. We find all the reasons not to do as God tells us. They did exactly as they were to do.
Yeah.
And just like Noah. I mean,
Yeah.
we know people had to be making fun of Noah.
You know that's right. Which is what we're about to look at. Yeah, you know he's being criticized by his. Go ahead, talk to me.
And we know that God wants all men to be saved.
Exactly.
All men are not going to be saved.
That's true.
He didn't want to destroy every human being.
Right, because he was suffering at this time. God was long suffering in the days of Noah. So yeah, we need to hammer that point when we look at this story. Now it goes on to say in verse 4, after 7 days I will cause it to rain on the earth 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have made. Very sad thought here. But he says, okay, now we've got a whole week. This is the final countdown. 7 days that we're going to commence this destruction. So he had 7 days to get everything together. To pack up the ark, to load the ark, prepare it for himself, his family, his animals. And that's what's happening here. And he says that 40 days it's going to rain. 40 days and 40 nights. What do you think that means? Do you think there's any significance in 40? I mean, why did it rain 40 days?
God wandered in the wilderness for 40 years.
Say what now?
They wandered in the wilderness for 40 years.
Okay, they wandered in the wilderness 40 years. That was, of course, for every day was 5 been suggested that this sacred number, or is the sacred number of trial and patience. You know, Moses fasted, Elijah fasted, Jesus fasted. God gave Nineveh 40 days to repent from the preaching of Jonah. And you could probably break down 40 years times 3 and the 120 years that it took for Noah to prepare the ark. And then it's going to rain 40 days and 40 nights. I don't think that's coincidence. I think that there's something implied there, you know, about the sorrow. I mean, this was not an easy move for God. Yes, he was angry, and he was insulted by his creation, but I don't think he enjoyed this. You know, he didn't enjoy any part of this. He didn't enjoy the years leading up to it. He doesn't like to see sinners perish. So, you know, the idea of him suffering, I think is part of it as well. So anyway, it rains 40 days and 40 nights, is what it says. And then, verse 5, Noah did according to all, or he said it's going to rain. Noah did according to all that the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were on the earth. Now, can you imagine living back then? I mean, what would it be like to be able to tell somebody, man, I wish I felt like I did 540 at age 540. 600's killing me, man. Can you imagine living that long? It's amazing. It's just amazing to think about that.
Think about remembering that much.
Right, remembering that much, yeah. It's fascinating to think about how long they lived. 600 years old. Now, there's no way, in terms of scale, you know, what that would be like for you and me, in terms of age and growth. But at least 2/3 of his life was lived. You can know that much. Because I think he's 950, something like that when he died. So, again, keep in mind, everything we know about Noah happens in the last part of his life. Same thing with Abraham. You know, great moments. We need to remember that. All these lessons we've learned in life, from our failures, can really gel and be brought to the surface in the last part of our life. And we see that happening here with Noah. All right, now there's some consequences to this stuff. You can take the time to look at all this, but I mean, he had siblings. That's what it says in chapter 5. He had brothers and sisters. So when he entered that ark, it's not like he just had his sons and his wife and his daughters-in-law were the only relatives he had. No, he had other relatives alive. Methuselah, it's been suggested, died the year of the flood. And you take his age, he was 369 when Noah was born. We know he lived to 969. And Noah, obviously, in the 600th year of his life, enters the ark. So, there it puts him right at the time of the flood. Right at the time of the flood, when this man died. So he saw the construction, or at least knew about the construction of the ark, as did Noah's father, Lamech. So these are people from his family who are still alive up until this point. And that's another testimony. You know, I mean, will you have to choose God or faith? At some point in your faith, will you have to choose honoring and obeying God, even when your family doesn't? We all know the answer to that. Which is why Jesus said you got to bear that cross. But it's a cross that people have been bearing for a long time. So he obeys God, he puts God first. And it says that Noah with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of course, the waters of the flood that are coming, right? That's the implication. So they have to go into the ark of clean animals, of animals that are unclean, of birds, and of everything that creeps on the earth. Now, don't you just wish? Don't you just wish he would have, left out a few of those creeping things or buzzing things? Why not? Yeah. I know that Johnny wanted a heron up there for his male animals, but, no, I'm kidding. Oh, here we go.
Here in verse 22, it said they were to bring all of their food for them
Yes.
and the food for the
And,
animals.
right.
But farmer, you have a bull for 30 cows. You have a ram for 30 sheep. That's just common knowledge as a farmer.
Mm-hmm. So, a lot of this space would have been used for food, is what you're suggesting? Yeah.
21, chapter 6, they loaded the food and everything for themselves and for that.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. You know, because how long are they going to be in this stuff? Say what now?
A year and 17 days.
Thank you. Yeah, it would be. That'd be over. I know. But they were prepared, though, you know, for this journey. And I've always thought this was interesting. You know, when you look at the construction of the ark, you know, one major thing that vessel does not have that every other vessel has?
Windows.
Well, that's true. Windows. Lots of windows. That's true. Oh, rudder. Exactly. That's interesting. No rudder. Because it's not built for travel. It's built for survival. And that's what they're doing on the inside. They're preparing to survive. So they go into the ark, and everything that's going to live after the flood is in that ark. We talk about the parallel, you know. Death and destruction on the outside, life and safety on the inside. I mean, come on, that's perfect parallel to Jesus and our hope. So they go in 2 by 2, they went into the ark to Noah, male and female. Again, God wanted to keep these creatures alive, and He needed a male and a female. That's what nature teaches. And it's against nature to suggest anything else. As God commanded Noah, there in verse 9. Okay? Anything on that? Yeah.
I think also it says now like the sun as well, because no one has less than 500 in chapter 5. So it sounds in terms of this for young, so I think that shows how much they trusted their father Noah.
Yeah.
And
True.
how much Noah and his wife taught them.
Yeah. Right, to have that kind of influence, that impact, that's a
Because
good.
they're too young at this point.
Yeah. Right.
Probably in their 900. That's crazy.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. The influence that they had. Yeah. That's very important. But you know, look at all that God endured just to save 8 people. We're talking about the mercy of God. So here they go. They're in this thing, and it says it came to pass after 7 days. That is when they got the commission to enter and prepare. I used to think, well, they got in the ark and they were in the ark 7 days before the waters came. That may be it, but after looking at it, you know, now I think it's just describing the time to go ahead and finalize everything of preparing the ark. Regardless, you know people will criticize this guy. You know, there's just no way you can build something this big and the word not get out. And especially when you start packing it, going in, animals and whatever, you know, when that door was closed, they're like, look at this crazy thing, you know, in this boat. Go ahead.
Well, you know, Noah probably built himself in how heavy.
Right.
But the people ahead of him didn't believe what he was doing for them.
How about that? Interesting. So he may have had other help, other people besides his son. All right, I see a hand back here.
It wasn't just to save the 7 or 8 souls, but it was to save the whole world. If they would look at the example, that's how you obey God, and that's how you save.
Yeah. Right.
The other way they were saved by water too.
Right. Isn't that interesting? All of life on earth feeds in that boat. Like you just said, keep life alive. We all came from Noah. All of us did. And every animal you see came from that ark. Every animal. On earth, or on land, or in the air. All descended from those creatures he took in. What a story. So in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. So it wasn't just like trickling rain, you know that. And this is an explosion of water. From the ground and then from the windows of heaven. Now, I thought this was interesting in Clark's commentary. Going back to the calendar they would have used. Because, of course, Noah went into the second month, the 17th day of the month. But based on what they're saying, this could have been around October or November. I don't know how they reached that. But it did make me think, hey, there was a time in the year that parallels with ours when all this happened. And I mean, what an intriguing thought, that possibly be around that time. It doesn't matter, but still, it's just a sobering thought to think it would all occur. Now, think of this though, in the fountains, it does say this. The fountains of the great deep were broken up. Water still comes from the earth today, geysers. But when the geysers are calm, you can see on the top right there what it looks like. You can have that crater-looking formation. And then you see these major craters around the world. We're told these are all meteors. But how do you know? There's no remnants of meteors in these things. What if these are the remnants of the fountains of the earth exploding? These things all over the world. Just something to think about. It does happen. Is what it says here. You have the fountains from below, and then you have the windows from above. Just all this massive water coming down on people. Do you think they had time to think when the windows of heaven opened and the fountains exploded? I don't know. Or it's just a guess. Either way, I guess as good as anyone else's. But you always thought, well, they're out there raining in that boat, let me in, it's raining, blah, blah, blah. I don't know about that. I don't know if they had time to respond to that. Go ahead.
I think you're dig deep in water.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's sad. Really sad to think about. Go ahead.
We were talking about the significance of the 40, but they've taken 40 days and 40 nights. Some people ain't got to. What they thought was time.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any significance at all in this, but 40 a lot of times in the Bible is destruction. When you think about the Jewish law and the 39 lashes, the reason they didn't go to 40 is because a lot of times called death.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any connection at all in that.
A
lot of times we get wrapped up on how is this possible.
Right, yes, right.
Take somebody that can create everything that we see and us. If you want to throw another ridge in there, we're talking about how could all those animals fit in there. Well, along with those animals, you have to have the food to feed them, but then think about the waste that comes from that.
I know, right?
You've got 8 guys. Have you ever cleaned a stall out, a horse stall out, or anything? And that's just for a short amount of time while the horse is.
Right. I'd be hiding in a boat somewhere. Yeah. That's terrible. I mean, and it's not like they had this. They didn't have sunlight.
They didn't have nowhere for 3 foot on.
Right. Tremendous patience for them to remain in this thing. My word. It happened. And it says on the very same day, Noah and his sons, their family, entered. The very same day. That's when all this stuff, the water started coming. So, yeah.
And remember, they pitched it within and without.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. God did seal it, or at least it was sealed.
So there's not a lot of anything coming in from outside at
Oh,
all.
yeah, right. Yeah. And the Lord shut it up. The Lord shut him in. Again, none of this was for God's sake, obviously. This was all for life to be preserved. But you're either in that boat or you're not. And you're either in Christ or not. That's the parallel. Go ahead.
So when the ark was shut, the Lord shut it from the outside. They were sealed, right?
Yeah.
He did it. They couldn't get back out anyway.
Right. Yeah. Up at this point. Go ahead, Frank.
One thing, then you highlighted that the Lord shut it in. Remember after the Santa reads it and the Lord closed it behind him. I think one key point to that is that he didn't make Noah the bad guy. You know, I can envision Noah trying to get as many to believe what he said as he could. Noah was not the one closing the door as people. If there were people on the outside that come to a realization that I need to be on there, Noah's not the one that closed it out. The Lord did that. I think that's important for us, that the Lord still takes that kind of care of us. You know, and what I mean by that is, he did not make Noah the judge.
How about that?
God would
He
make
was just a messenger. Yeah. Good point. So that door was shut, and if you're not in, you're not in. You're destroyed. The same thing is coming in a much grander way. Go ahead, brother.
We of all people live in this area here, ought to know how that water comes up out of the ground and it rains. Got a couple of sinkholes. You get 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah.
It comes up out of the
Yeah.
ground. Over an acre or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. There's no telling how much water is below us.
There's also springs in the ocean.
How about that? That's true. Springs in the ocean. So it's controlled now by the mercy of God and the power of God. But on that moment, we let it loose. And everything that had breath on earth was consumed. The flood was on the earth 40 days. That's when it's coming down. The waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and greatly increased on the earth, and the ark moved about on the surface of the water. So now you have everything covered, and it's going to be that way for 150 days after the 40 days of rain. And the ark is just moving about. What a thought. I mean, where we're standing right now, this is all in the water. Where you live is all in the water. Anywhere you've ever been in this world was all underwater. And every living thing on land and in the air was destroyed. And it says the waters prevailed. You know, it remained, as we see. Prevailed 20, it says verse 20, prevailed 15 cubits upward. The mountains were covered. All flesh died and moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts, every creature thing that creeps on the earth, and every man. Every man. That's man, woman, and child. All killed. And it says that it was it prevailed above mountains, all flesh, prevailed for 150 days. But what else did it prevail over? What else did the waters prevail over? How about doubt, disobedience, rebellion? All judged. You know, we serve a God that's going to do the same thing. When the fire comes, because it's not really his water, we understand that. But he is going to use something. He is water. I'm sorry, fire. And that fire is going to consume everything on earth and in the heavens. Very similar to what's done. Except there won't be anything left in the aftermath. Very serious story. And it says in verse 22, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life, all that was on the dry land died. Like I said, that's where you get your fossil record from. You know, because there's no way you can have these massive graveyards of fossils in different layers of the earth. For them to be preserved completely, something massive and immediate had to happen. I mean, how in the world do you get sharp fossils in below ground, like coal mines? We used to worship with that in He was from Eastern Kentucky coal mines, but they found shark fossils. I mean, well below the surface. How does that happen? How do you get that in that certain layer of the fossil record? Had to be something massive all over the world. Go ahead.
It also found fossilized sea creatures on mountaintops.
Oh, how about that? Fossilized sea creatures on mountaintops.
Several places in Colorado.
Yeah, good point. So again, it's right there. Everything that had the breath of life, it was all killed. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the ground, both man and cattle, creeping and birds in the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive. Now, how hard do you think that was? I mean, seriously. They had a huge boat, no doubt, but you had 7 other people with you. And you're in darkness, basically. I mean, I know they had lamps, but how hard do you think it would have been for them to have lived in this or to have heard all that stuff? Knowing that they look around and they don't see cousin so and so or sibling so and so or parent or whatever. I mean, how hard would it have been for them to endure that? Go ahead.
His commitment to serve God was greater than his.
Yes. Right.
One other thing we have to take through all of this is the same water that saved Noah destroyed the world.
Yeah. Right. Good point. I'm sorry. I went over. Oh, go ahead, Todd. Wrap us up.
Just one thing.
You're good?
As we talked about the other day, other than Noah, everyone else, every imagination in their mind is evil continually. So even though it may have been hard, it may have been a breath of fresh air. Because guess what? They didn't have to live in that field.
Right.
They were living in our lives. All that was taken away.
Yeah, exactly. And what another grand thought to consider, living into a new world, leaving that boat. All right,